I'm really excited because today is rib day. We're gonna be smoking up some ribs, having a nice little family dinner. Let's go shopping. Can't have a barbecue without some sides, so we're gonna do some sweet corn and we're gonna smoke up this asparagus too. I think we're gonna cook the corn on the smoker as well. We'll figure it out, but should make for a good meal. Now time for the main event, the ribs. I love shopping at stores like BJ's because I think they really have the perfect mix of value and quality. I really like baby back, so I think we're gonna do baby back. Plus, that's pretty much what they have. They do have this one fresh pork spare ribs. I like spare ribs. They're a little bit cheaper, but I don't think quite as uniform. So we're gonna go baby back. We're gonna get a nice big thing of baby back ribs. Probably gonna pick this one up here. 7 pounds or so. Should make for a really nice smoke. Not going to do this today, but this is a pro tip. Grab yourself one of these things of fresh pork belly, cube them, and you smoke them while you're smoking in the ribs. It makes for an excellent little pork belly appetizer. These things are delicious when you do them right. We'll do a separate video on these later. Now it's time to prep the meat. I like to start by scoring the back of it. Some people take the whole membrane off. I think that's kind of a waste of time. As long as you go through with a nice sharp knife, cut it all up, it will do exactly what you need it to do. I think it's just kind of a waste of time to go ahead and remove it. I've used this method for a while and it works out just fine. Just make sure you use a nice sharp knife and you put lots of score marks across it. Everything will still be nice and tender and fall off the bone and do exactly what you want it to do. I also like how in this particular piece we had a little snack for when we're cooking. We're going to start off with some of the Meat Church Texas Sugar. Love Meat Church Texas Sugar on ribs. It is probably my favorite rib rub right now. I use that with a little bit of brown sugar. Throw a little bit of garlic. You notice I'm doing the back side of the ribs first. I like to do the back side so that when I do the front side of the ribs, I'm not turning it over multiple times because I do cook it with the bone side down. But as a whole, I think it's really good. I think it gives it a nice, good flavor. We are going to try something kind of unique with this one. We're going to be using honey as a binder. We're actually using 2 different types of honey. We're going to be using a hot honey and then just, a regular kind of honey. The hot honey comes from a company called Savannah Bee Company. I think their hot honey is really good. It's quite tasty. I'm not really usually a fan of binders. I never use mustard, that's for sure. But I figured I'd see if the honey would give it a little bit of flavor. I was kind of hoping that the hot honey especially would give it a little bit of a sweet and spicy flavoring there. Don't use a whole lot, just enough. Just enough. But the real trick here was trying to remember which one was the hot honey and which one was not. But spoiler alert for later on. I couldn't remember. We tried it. Be honest with you, the honey experiment kind of failed. Really couldn't taste the difference. Maybe just the tiniest kick of spice, but it wasn't that big a deal. I like to rub seasoning, not too much. Just a little bit. Just enough. Just enough to get it going good. As a whole, that's just how I like to do it. Everyone does it a little differently. My ribs do seem to turn out pretty good, but this is the process that we go through. So that was the regular honey. Now we're going to put the hot honey on the other one. Nice little couple of drips. There's Punzel. Punzel likes to supervise sometimes. But look at that. Like I said, this honey comes from a company called Savannah Bee Company. We got it from Disney Springs. It was really quite tasty. Alexa's used it on a lot of toast and breakfast things and other stuff. But I'm like, I want to put it on ribs. She was actually a little mad that I was wasting her honey on the ribs, but at the same time, she thought it would be a good idea. So figured we'd go for it, see what happens. Unfortunately, it didn't really work out. I guess it goes to show you that binders really don't add much flavor, which means it kind of reaffirmed my opinion that they're absolutely worthless. We ended up using the rest of the Texas Sugar, so I've got to go buy some more. I really recommend a lot of the Meat Church products. They're one of my favorite meat rubs, but the Texas Sugar has really been a favorite of mine, especially when it comes to ribs. They did a pork butt with Texas Sugar too, and that turned out really yummy as well. I do put a little extra garlic. I'm Italian. I like to put garlic on everything, so that's why I do that. And then, of course, some extra brown sugar to really drive home a lot of the sweetness, because I like my ribs to be a little sweeter. But there we go. It's all nice and rubbed in. Hunzel, I think, has approved of the job. Now let's go ahead and get them on the smoker. All right, so we got the Memphis pellet smoker at 225. We're gonna go ahead and put these racks on. It should be really yummy. I'm very excited to see how these turn out. We are using the Traeger Signature Pellet Blend. And we'll see these bad boys in a couple hours. All right, so now it is time to take a look and see what we got here. Come look at these things. They are looking gorgeous. So we are now going to go ahead and take them off for a quick second. I'm going to lay them on this tin foil. It's a little windy, so try and make sure tin foil don't blow away. We are now going to take some of this barbecue sauce. I have found this barbecue sauce, it's really good.
It's one of our favorites.
Hickory brown sugar from Kinder's. We got this big old bottle at BJ's. I don't put a lot right now. Just enough to kind of coat it. Light coat. Some people put butter in at this point. Some people put a little apple juice. You know, lots of different techniques. I personally, when I go to wrap them in tin foil, I just like putting a little bit of barbecue sauce and then wrap them up. So these have been going for about 3 hours. Kind of using the 3-2-1 method a little bit. You can kind of see I need some bigger tin foil. That's okay.
It is so windy out.
It is very windy. Makes this a little challenge.
You got bubbles. Good job.
We can just take it like this. And now we're going to let it smoke like this for about 2 more hours before checking on it again. Lay down another thing of tin foil here. And the reason you put it in the tin foil like this is it helps it cook. So with ribs, if you're doing competition style ribs at least, which mine aren't really necessarily competition style, it's kind of a mix, but you don't really want them to be fully fall off the bone. You want them to still have a little bit of bite and then come off the bone. So this method kind of helps with that. It helps progress it without overcooking it. You can kind of see they're starting to get a little pull away with the ribs, which is what you really want to see, especially with baby backs. I'm excited. I think this is going to turn out really, really good. And then another piece of tin foil. If you can, which I need to go buy some, you can actually buy like barbecue tin foil, which is a little bit whiter. I have some barbecue butcher's paper that I use
For the brisket.
For the brisket. I ran out of tin foil, so I'm just having to do it like this. But that's fine. It ain't gonna hurt nothing wrapping it up like this. The idea by wrapping it is it helps just keep the heat in a little bit more. Now one thing I do have, I don't know if you remember this piece, this little piece here. I'm gonna throw that with a little barbecue sauce, and honestly in about an hour,
That'll be ready.
I'm probably gonna take this off and we're gonna snack on that and see how that tastes. But that's the next step with these ribs. Gonna let them sit here for about another 2 hours or so. Then you take them off and you let them smoke for another hour or two, and you're good to go. So about 2 hours of it wrapped. Unwrapped them, put another layer of barbecue sauce on them. They're looking really, really good. Bone starting to peel off. Got some corn, got some asparagus going in here too. There it is. Yeah, look at that. About another hour or so, and these will be ready to go. Here's the final product, y'all. Look at that. Look at that.